Show you what happens when you do that. Then finally, there is the Oceanic Plus app. That's a third-party app that Apple's worked with, and that app has all the features that you would expect of a dive computer, from Suunto or Garmin or whatever the case is, and the syncing of the data afterwards into their platform. The Apple Depth app barely does, and I'm going to show you what it does have in it. So with that, let's get this thing started. I've got the Depth app already opened up, and you'll watch as I put it in here, it's going to notice I'm going down to about 1 feet. There we go. Boom. That's 1 feet of water depth. And the reason that's important is because if I just put it in there without starting the Depth app, it will not automatically leave the screen on. Normally it will turn on the Depth app automatically, but the screen, because it's not wearing it, you get the point. You gotta have it on there automatically. So then over here, I've got a dive gauge, just kind of like a validation, if you will, and then you'll see the numbers on the screen as well as that, and you can kind of just validate them across them. This gauge has not been calibrated yearly or anything like that, but as you'll see, it won't really matter too much. Okay, then we're gonna take this and seal it on up. Put this in there. Try not to bonk the watch. Okay, we got a good seal all the way around at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and attach the piping. So this basically goes ahead and the compressor cable going in, the compressor air going in. Now we're gonna detach the power from the tablet. This is like when you have an old iPhone that the battery doesn't hold anymore. The same thing. There we go. This tablet hasn't been connected for years to the internet. I still think it's 2015. I don't dare change it. I just leave it alone. So you just heard it. There we go. Turn on this. You can hear the whir of it starting up. I'm going to load up my test here, and then I've double checked this is locked. These are all set. Now we will go ahead and hit go. Okay, so you can hear it kicking in right now. Basically, it does different steps. You can see this whole step ladder on the screen right there. The first step here is at 10 meters. And so I know it's meters over there and feet over here, but you can see 36 feet. And you can see here as well, just a little bit above that, about 39 or so feet. The point of this isn't necessarily to test the exact calibration of the sensors. Each time we go down, you'll see a little bubble there, if you will, on the Apple Watch display, indicating we're going down. You can see the depth shown in meters on this side, as well as shown in feet on this side over there. It also shows our maximum depth that we've reached right there at 83 feet, because it kind of wobbles a little bit as we go down. So right now we're at 35 meters. We're gonna go one more stop to 40 meters, and this will be the next pre-programmed stop, and then we're gonna go ahead and take over it and bring it down beyond the specified depth. So you see right there, it's holding 40 meters, what I think is 39 meters or so. Right here we see on this 126 or so, maybe 125 feet. Over here, 123 feet, very, very close. You'll also notice the water's the time of our depth and the time of day at the very top. Now, if you're finding this video interesting, useful, entertaining, or something, just whack that like button at the bottom. It really does help with this video and the channel quite a bit. Now, in just a second, it's going to release some of the pressure, and it's going to bring the dive watch shallower. It's part of the pre-programmed dive profile I have here for testing watches, but we'll go ahead and we'll override that in just a second, and then go ahead and make it much deeper. So there you go, you just heard it go out. And you can see the watch itself decreasing in depth. Our next step here is 20 meters. Now, of course, this app isn't all that advanced, so I'm gonna purge it and basically bring us down to the shallows and then go up again. So now, basically ending this particular dive. Watch here, we'll release all the pressure out, going up very, very quickly. You see some of the air bubbles going up that were caught inside the band. And then now watch, it'll go ahead and automatically end the dive, and it'll show us the dive summary in just a second. There we go. So now we see our maximum depth in this dive summary, underwater time, water temperature, the time is shown there. And then it tells you in the one screen below that you can't quite see to check your phone in the Apple Health app to see more data. And hang on, we'll do that in just a second. So now we're gonna go into manual mode right there, and we'll put a depth in. And we're gonna go straight for 50 meters. Remember though, the hardware here is designed for 100 meters. It's merely the depth app itself that is not pleased with going beyond 40 meters. And the reason is that from a recreational dive standpoint, 40 meters is sort of the limit there of where you would have for an advanced open water certificate, and that's sort of the goal of this watch. And then boom, right there, beyond 130 feet. So at this point, we are beyond what Apple wants for their depth app. I think it's really important to understand this is the difference between hardware and software. Their software app, their basic, super basic app called Depth, is limited to 130 feet. Beyond that, they're like, not our problem. versus the hardware is capable of 100 meters, which is roughly 300 some odd feet. Very, very different sort of things. Now, watch as I go ahead and purge all this out. Here we go. I'm going to purge everything out right there and bring us back down. So as soon as we go below the 130, it shows us our depth again, no problem. So it never showed us the actual depth beyond 130 feet. It basically says, please don't go there and get on back to normalcy. And then watch here, our maximum depth will just simply now show that it was beyond that overall there. So maximum depth beyond 130 feet. And now at this point, I can go ahead and turn things off. There we go. And I can get my battery charged up again over here. Every little second counts. I've only probably got about 15 or 20 minutes on this tablet worth of battery. It's again a decade old. And then finally, I can release the rest of the air. So purge manually there, purge out this, and then I can go ahead and get the Apple Watch out of here. So give me a second to do that. Grab a little watch. Okay, and now you see I can still use the digital crown here to move between things. But if I want to touch anything, of course I've got to unlock it. My hands are wet too, so unlock it. You can see it just actually see it shooting the water. Look at that, right there. That's crazy. It's really hard to see it. There we go. And I'll go down, and you can see right there, you can review and manage your depth history in the health app on your phone. So the way we do that right now, I got a screen recording somewhere up here, is you crack open the health app, the activity tab. And then from there, you'll see, come on, once it redoes this, there we go, underwater depth, beyond 144 feet. There we go, we tap that. You can see by day, we'll go down to hour, and there's basically 2 dives I did. One I did prior to shooting here to make the machine can blow up, and then 2, the second little dive we did right there. If I look at the show all data, you can actually see the data in there. In fact, if you look at these samples, I'll just crack one open right there. For example, this one shows underwater depth 78 feet. But if you go down to view all quantities, you can see there's other depths in there. And these are separated by, anywhere from a few seconds or so to more time than that. So there is more data in there that third parties could perhaps go ahead and pull out if they want. And that's probably what the Plus app is doing behind the scenes. And what Apple's general nature is to stick this stuff in there. Anyways, as Apple said, this is designed for recreational diving. They're super clear on their website that you should have a secondary dive computer with you. The goal of this, though, is that if you're going on vacation, doing a dive, casual dive, you can have this, record that data, have some record of that there. Now, as for that Oceanic Plus app, the terminology Apple's using is coming this fall. I don't know their definition of fall. I'm guessing probably like October, November tends to be their fall definition, but we shall see. Technically, in North America, it goes to December 22nd, so we'll see, 21st, whatever. In any case, I'll review that once that happens. That's all I got. Some of you are probably asking, why would I have bought this to begin with? And so I had this built, again, like I said earlier, about a decade ago. And the reason was, at the time, most GPS multi-sport watches, both triathlon watches made by Garmin and others, weren't actually waterproof. I know that sounds crazy in today's context, but if you bought a Garmin multi-sport watch in 2010, 2011, they weren't waterproof to more than 1 meter, more than 3 feet, and that was it. So then they started eventually creating more watches that were waterproof, like barely more than that. And I wanted to see, like, were they actually legit waterproof? And so I contacted the company to go ahead and have this whole thing made. Cost a lot of money, by the way. Cost even more money to ship it from Canada, where it was made, to Europe. And then from there, I was starting to test watches. In fact, you can probably find a couple older videos. Maybe I'll link one above here.
Hello, I'm Ray from DCRainmaker.com. What I've got here today is the Apple Watch. I'm going to put it in this waterproofing chamber and see how well it holds up.
But what I found out was that it was super boring. I thought that watches would do something really exciting when they failed, but they never failed. And the cool part with the button pressing and all is I could validate that I could press buttons underwater and things like that. But at the end of the day, I never had a single watch fail. I even bought like a whole bunch of crappy Walmart watches and stuff like that have failed, and none of them did. Largely because even back then, crappy Walmart watches were waterproof to 50 meters or so. So it was really tough to actually cause these to fail. This whole setup is rated for 50 meters. So again, 150 or so odd feet, and I'm not going to go beyond that. That would be like a stupid safety thing to do. It's designed for that, and obviously there's a mechanical reason why when you talk about depth and things like that, stuff is designed for it. So that's the story of this. It is pretty cool. Now, eventually this thing will probably all die. Not this part of it, that might too, but probably this part here. The tablet is the one lifeline to this entire thing. I spent 2 hours this morning trying to get it to turn on, and then eventually giving up on turning on and trying to get my other laptop, the Windows laptop, to run the old apps from, again, a decade plus ago. Lots of compatibility issues, lots of failures. I spent a long time trying to troubleshoot it, and some of you may know I used to work at Microsoft for more than a decade, so I kind of understand that pretty well, and not looking super good. So hopefully this thing just keeps on ticking a little bit there, because that's the only way I can kind of do this sort of fun test like this. Anyways, hopefully you found this fun or entertaining or something like that. I, of course, will, as I said before, do some sort of legit dive testing with this once that Oceanic app comes out, but until then, it's kind of just too basic to really do much with today. As always, if you found this video useful, whack that like button at the bottom there, or just subscribe down at the bottom. That's all I got. There's lots more coming. I mean, there's tons more coming. Actually, a crap ton more coming, so don't miss out on that. Have a good one.
I will shape this world in my image. I will tame these lands and all lands. Forever.
Shut down.
Nothing will stand in my way. Turn and face me.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
For a righteous people, contrition will not save them. Silence! The lion walks among men. My throne calls to me. Wait for my return. I am Demacia. Repent! Every soul is my subject.
An ally has been slain.
Demacia reigns!
has been slain. Has destroyed its turret. Has been destroyed.
I have need of these earthly treasures. Fear nothing. Trust in me. I shall save them from themselves. Demacia, I hear you! We all
The time for talk is over.
An enemy has been slain.
Demacia! I am the voice of history. Nothing shall remain. You dare to kill a god? I am the great father to all mankind. This crown is a heavy burden. For Demacia, I will bear it. I will be invincible. War has come to us. Nothing will stay my hand. Faith in me shall be rewarded. This world will know order.
Your team has destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain.
Fealty or death. Our crusade shall never end. The enemy is weak. Crush them in my name. Serve me, and know glory. No mere beast can stand against the God King. Stands eternal. Apostate.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
You shall know my right.
Shut down. Killing spree.
Prayers have been answered.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Let no beast or shadow stand in my way.
Has been slain. Shut down. Killing spree.
Fear not, for I will never truly leave your side. Wrath for the wicked, honor for the just. The earth itself shall bend to my will. Demacia rises! There is only
Your
one
turret has been
constant
destroyed.
in this world. Demacia. I have business. Fight off my name. All beasts bow to the lion. Demacia and serve at my side. I will tame these lands and all. Contrition will not save them.
Your turret has been destroyed.